So following last week's New York Comic Con, I was able to make it and get in on some really good reveals and info throughout the weekend. There were some nice surprises, awesome costumes, and great Marvel figures, as well as statues on display. So let's take a closer look and see what different manufacturers have to showcase for us. Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be diving into some of the things that were revealed at New York Comic Con last weekend. Now I was personally there for only 2 out of the 4 days, but was still able to get a number of good shots and time in. I did take hundreds of pictures and some really cool videos, but I wanted to focus on just the Marvel figures and statues as part of the video so that we can focus on those aspects, right? This includes some good information from Hasbro Marvel Legends, right? Mezco Figure Arts, Diamond Select Toys, and a couple others that I've listed as well, right? They also had this amazing new Marvel mural as well, which looked amazing. It featured a lot of upcoming MCU projects along with the new Marvel Rivals game on the right hand side there that is coming out later this year. But yeah, let's dive in and check out some of my experience gathered from the con. First up, we have Hasbro Marvel Legends, where we saw the reveal of their new Sentinel figure, right? This was announced during their Hasbro breakfast, and I got to see it in person at their nice little display area. This is a new X-Men 97 base Sentinel that stands at almost 2 feet tall. So it's smaller and less detailed than the HasLab version, but it's scaled well enough to put up against, several Legends figures, in my opinion. I do like the overall design of this, though, and how it's modeled very well from the cartoon series. It does come with a few accessories, such as the 2 energy blasts, broken helmet and face sculpt, as well as that broken sort of power source with exposed wiring as well. So you can also see how it scales pretty well with the standard Legends figure on the right hand side there. So generally speaking, good figure. Here are a couple of shots I was able to get in on during the reveal itself. There was a nice line of folks taking pics at the same time as well with me. So I got to meet some other folks posting on their social media accounts as well. So shout out to all those awesome folks and other creators I got to meet at the con last weekend, right? But as you can see here, it does look pretty amazing in person. It definitely feels larger than it looks on paper, and you can really see that from the left-hand pic and how it scales. You do need a lot of space for this in display area, obviously. At least it does come with some nice additional battle damage pieces, right? So on the right hand side, you get to see the head as well as the chase plate. Sorry, also shot of that. It is available now for pre-order on Hasbro's site and will run you about $180. Expected to ship around the fall of 2025 next year, so you have almost an entire year before you get your hands on it. Otherwise, I do feel that this is a pretty great figure to own, especially if you don't have the HasLab version and want it to be your X-Men based display and or collection, right? Now, moving on to some 6-inch Legends, we also got to see more in-person displays of the upcoming Secret Wars wave, right? So just a reminder, there are a total of 6 figures in this wave, and we'll take a quick look at the first 3 here, right? So you see Wolverine on the left-hand side. You can see some good articulation to him in that picture. The trapezoid and sort of top shoulder area still feel a little off to me. Otherwise, the coloring and the model design still look pretty well represented, right? In the middle there, you have the classic Iron Man in his Mark IV armor. Now, it's hard to tell from the pic the type of articulation he'll get around the shoulder area. Also, I feel like that the roller skate accessories are still pretty funny. Otherwise, I do like the classic arc reactor type of lights on his chest and the blast accessories as well, right? Now, last on his page is Cap, and it looks pretty awesome, in my opinion. Still really like the broken shield here, and it looks very distinct in comparison to the endgame shield. He does come with some really good hand mold accessories, an overall good figure that, yeah, would be a good part of the collection. Next 3 up are the Black Suit Spider-Man, Titania, and Beyonder. Now, Black Suit Spider-Man is my favorite of the wave here. Looks like he has some really good articulation through the actual body mold. I really like the angry expression on his additional head mold, right? And pretty good overall accessories, but there's no webbing from what I recall, so that's kind of a downer. Titania also in the center here looks pretty good. Colors look pretty well balanced, well throughout the costume itself. She doesn't come with any good accessory though, like a rock that she could be throwing or a small car. So that's a pretty big miss though, in my opinion. But still pretty decent looking character and figure itself. And last but not least is the Beyonder himself. Right here, you can see he's holding one of the cooler accessories from the actual wave, which is Battle World. So it has some really nice details, overall design here, in my opinion. I really like the coloring, how it's scaled to sort of fit in his hands like the way it does. And his face sculpt looks really good. Really has that nice sinister look. It's obvious that he's a bad guy. These are will be shipped starting January 2025. And you can pre-order from any of your favorites online vendors today, right? Next, moving to H Figure Arts. I got to see the new Wolverine and Deadpool figures from the film. They're more in person. I do apologize for the hazy picture here. There was a lot of folks trying to get in on some pictures, but I do have a couple more to show after this. Here you can see them side by side in the superhero related pose. They look great overall together and scaled well in terms of their accessories. They are available for pre-order now, and I believe they're shipping around Q1 of 2025. Here's a couple of better shots of them together. Deadpool's lighter red color looks pretty good. That just a reminder, his costume did get lighter. The katana sword and sheath are scaled well. Looks like it has pretty good articulation there in the arms, especially in this pose. Overall, pretty good design. I really like Wolverine here over on the right. You can really see the raised bevel circles throughout his costume, right on this model. They stand out really well. The claws look also pretty good to me. I'm not sure if they're more on the gummy or solid side, but time will tell once I pick these up. Otherwise, they are pretty good looking figures. The model themselves look to be film accurate. So really looking forward to get my hands on both of them soon. Next up is Venom from the upcoming The Last Dance film. This one, I believe, is slated to come out late of Q2 of next year, 2025. Now, this figure actually got a really good amount of attention at Comic Con due to their promoting it and the fact that it looks pretty good, right? You can see in the middle pic here, right out the bat, that the tendrils came out really good. Has some nice details, length, and overall shape to them. Also, the figure itself has some pretty good articulation, rather, where you can actually shift him in multiple positions, which is good, right? The third pick with his tongue and mouth out look awesome, right? Some really nice details on his teeth and tongue. Like your teeth themselves were delivered very well, and they don't look so clean, which is good because it has to look a little, you feel and look a little dirty, which is great. The body mold and paint applications look pretty good as well, and overall decent symbiotic sort of lifelike feeling to it, and great overall fig from H Figure Arts. And the last set of Marvel figure displays for them were from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse picks. Right, we got to see the whole gang together here in their display. The image on the top row are the ones that came out this year already and are already available for purchase. This pick here features the 2.0 versions of Spider-Gwen and Miles, along with Peter and Penny Parker, all of which are available for pre-order now, but are coming out early next year. Right. Here's a nice shot of both Gwen and Miles together as well. I really like the pose here because you can sort of feel the dynamic between and essence rather of the figures themselves, even if you didn't know the characters from the film, right? So the level of details on the figs are pretty good. And definitely get your hands on the 2.0 version if you want updated sets of the figs, right? Next manufacturer up is Diamond Select Toys. They did have a couple nice displays of their figures, statues, and mini mates out for us, all different genres. But I'll focus on the Marvel stuff for the video. So, and in the middle here, you kind of see their mini mates and sort of mini statues, right? Now they're pretty cool in terms of smaller scale Marvel figure collectibles, especially the Silver Surfer one. I personally don't collect these. I do see the appeal, especially like having these small figs on the tabletop of display, right? So it's pretty cool to see these in person. The bottom row here features some nice PVC statues. We have a variation of the Grey Hulk on the left there, followed by Silk, Apocalypse, and finally Beta Ray Bill. Right, Beta Ray Bill did get the most attention there, and it definitely stood out the most. When I was at the Comic Con, I recall most folks, especially ones who just weren't familiar with the character, being most drawn to it just because he looks awesome, right? And they kind of recognize Thor look and the Rainbow Road as well. But yeah, overall, a nice set of PVC statues here. They also had some nice Spider-Man gallery statues as well, right? This one featured Peter, Venom, and Miles all together. Now, these are the gallery versions, right? So a little more pricier with the level of details of their sculpts and the molds as well, right? I believe they'll run you about 80 or maybe around $85, right? They have also more intricate bases. You can see these three have a lot of symbiotic type of tendrils sticking out from the bottom. So they all look great, and I'm sure they all match up very well. If you really like Spider-Man's pincers on that model there, as well as Miles' Bioshock sculpting as well around his hand. So those are really good and came out very well, and I just like how they stand out, right? Next, we have the Marvel Select figures, right? So I believe first one up is War Machine. I really like his classic model here. Really nice face of Rhodey, really reminiscent of the comics, right? So that's good that they're able to capture that. There are a lot of good details on the armor itself, right? Including the attached weaponry And I believe this one comes out in Q2 actually of 2025 and run you about 29.99, like the rest of their lineup. Right next up is Archangel, who I absolutely love, and I'm really glad they finally made a good X-Men model figure of him. Right, he does come with two alternate head sculpts that you can see here. The wings look amazing and were sculpted very well. Also like the color and paint applications more in person, and it doesn't feel cheap. Right, it feels like a like Archangel, which is great. And last up is Nihilus. Pretty good figure model overall. Also, really good pair of wings on him. A lot of details, especially on the inside. Face sculpt looks great. And it's a really good figure to match up with some of the previous Fantastic Four figures from the collection. And oh yeah, here's a quick shot of the upcoming Adam Warlock statue that's coming out next year as well, or maybe even late this year. And I'm a big fan of Warlock, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on him soon, and I'm sure it'll look great next to the Civil Service statue. Next manufacturer we have up is Mezco. Now they had a huge display of the figures around their booth area, where everything from Marvel, DC, Power Rangers, and the Chucky sort of line was there, right? As you can see here, they have a lot of great 112 scale 6-inch figures, and they've done a great job of sort of building out their teams, right? They have the full Fantastic Four there with Doom, right? As an example, some X-Men, members of the Spidey team on the top left, and some amazing street level heroes there on the bottom right, which happen to be my favorite, both Daredevil and Moon Knight, which look amazing. And generally speaking, their overall lineup of figures is pretty good. It's not too large though, but it's pretty good. Mezco also had their Deadpool and Wolverine figures on display as well. These are not final though, and subject to final approval from Marvel. And there's also a really nice store that you can see here that looks like it's almost ready for PO, so it'll be interesting to pick this one up. But as you can see here, some nice details on both the Deadpool and Wolverine. For Deadpool's costume coloring feels a little darker though, and Logan doesn't have his mask on, so it'll be interesting to see what it actually looks like sooner rather than later. And also be interesting to see what the final models themselves look like. Right. Otherwise, I'm not sure if I'll personally be picking this up yet, but we'll see more info coming out very soon, probably by the end of the year. And here's a nice shot of the new classic Ghost Rider available from Mezco, right? Now, it is exclusive to Big Bad Toys store, and is available for pre-order now. So check it out if you're interested in adding this to your collection, because it's a really nice figure, but I really like the motorcycle more so than the figure itself, right? Figure looks okay. Looks a little I don't know. It feels outdated for some reason. Not too bad though. I do like the original Ghost Rider fig, as you can see here, better. It just feels more heavily detailed and different feel. Motorcycles also awesome, but I'll still likely be picking up this new classic one though, just because it'll be nice to have them paired together on a display as well, right? Then it also had some exclusives for sale, which included these two. One, which was the Amazing Spider-Man on the left, and on the right was was Wolverine with his classic blue and yellow costume. Right now, these were actually sold out from on day one, right? But I was actually lucky enough to get my hands on both of these from my friend, who was obviously very excited. Nevertheless, the figures themselves look pretty good. Spider-Man comes with a number of great accessories, including the head molds, multiple types of webbing rather, including this nice little parachute. As for Wolverine, his model looks pretty good. Costume looks decent overall. Although his thighs feel a little too thick to me, overall his model looks pretty good. Some also comes with additional hand and head molds there, and a pretty decent looking figure. From what I saw up close, right? And last quick shot from Mezco. I want to kind of quickly show you guys like the DC display. A lot of cool looking figures here, especially different Batman variants that they have there. Now, I personally don't collect many Mezco figs, but let me know in the comments if any of you do and like why, because I'd like to explore more of these soon. Just after seeing them more in person, they look pretty awesome, right? Now, in terms of Marvel Studios, they did have Daredevil and Kingpin's new costumes from the upcoming Disney Plus show on display as well. The actress also made a nice little surprise visit there, which was awesome. But the costume does look pretty good in my opinion. I still think the Netflix costume is a little better though. This new one feels a little too bright, a little more flat and over padded to me, right? Like you can see the extra padding on the chest area, and like they did with Deadpool, they just made his color much brighter, which I didn't like. Right, overall though, it's still a pretty good looking costume, and look forward to see like what folks like Hasbro and Hot Toys will do with their model figures next year. But personally, I feel that the Netflix one is still superior. Now, in terms of Lego, they did have a major reveal there, which was the new X-Men X Mansion. So I just wanted to quickly showcase this to you guys, especially for any Lego minifigure collectors out there. right? This set will be available for order on November 4th and comes with 10 new minifigs, including the new Sentinel, right? I think there are 4 exclusives here, though, like Iceman, Gambit, I believe Bishop, and Jean Grey. So it's a really cool Lego set. And I'll personally be picking this up and adding it to my really small Lego collection just because it's the X Mansion and it looks really awesome, right? And last up, in terms of Marvel statues and figures, this really stood out to me. And these are the collections designed by Premium Collectibles. They had some really incredible displays there, and really liked their Wolverine and Blade statues. These are 1/3 scale statues and run you around $1,200. You can see Logan here on the left. It looks really awesome. Great sculpting throughout the arms, the face, and how they projected that. And the delivery of his yellow and blue costume and paint applications look great as well, right? But I really like the Blade one here in the middle. Absolutely love the diorama base with the vampires underneath him. Look amazing how they're climbing up. He also has that Wesley Snipes vibe look, which they actually killed, and a lot of really good, amazing detail throughout the costume and weaponry, right? And I also had an opportunity to meet some of the folks there from the team. So shout out to Premium Collectibles, and definitely check them out if you're interested in some amazing statues like this, right? So there you have it, folks. Thanks for joining me today as we explored some of the Marvel figure reveals and displays from New York Comic Con. Was there anything that caught your eye and plan on picking up in the future? Let me know in the comments below what really stands out to you, and if you were at the con as well. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more content on the coolest superhero collectibles around. Until next time, folks, keep on collecting.